Prince in Shadow. Prequel novella in the Land of Magadha series.
Chapter 2. J. The sun blazed down on us as my friends Kapil, Vasu, and I rode our horses along the King's Road to the fort. Most folks went about their daily lives, used to seeing their prince travel along these roads. I waved to a few who shouted a greeting. The limestone wall of the city fort ran along our path. We galloped through the open gates as guards bowed to me. I jumped off my stallion at the stables and handed the reins to a stable boy.
"My lord."
A voice called my name and I spun around. Balin approached me with quick steps.
"Prince J, a messenger arrived from Sarl this morning."
Excitement coursed through me. My father had started an aggressive campaign to capture Sarl, and I had been eagerly awaiting his message. "Where is he?" I asked. I noticed Balin's hesitation in answering my question.
"He gave his message to Princess Mira, my lord,"
he said, leaning forward.
"I can fetch him to your chambers."
"That is not needed. I will go talk to my sister," I said. I ran up the palace steps and marched to Mira's chambers. "Mira," I called and knocked on her partially open door. Her maid answered me from inside.
"She is visiting the Queen, my lord."
I was in no mood for one of the Queen's addresses on astrology, or prayers, or whatever superstitions she had taken up. I struggled between waiting for my sister here, or visiting the Queen to hear the dispatch from Sarl. My impatience won, and I decided to see my stepmother. I had taken a few steps when I saw Mira coming the opposite way, and I called her name. She appeared not to notice, and almost bumped into me. I caught her elbow and exclaimed, "Mira."
"Jay,"
she said, coming out of her trance. "I was coming to see you," I said, and she stated,
"I have important tidings."
At the same time, dread rose in me as I glanced at her clouded face. Not good news then. I fell in step with her and entered her chambers. She dismissed her maid and shut the door. Winding her sari ends around her finger, a nervous habit she picked up recently, she revealed,
"Father suffered injuries in his battle."
Cold crept into my body, and I clenched my fist. How did he get hurt? She narrated the tale of his fall from his horse. The color drained from my face. "How is he?" I asked.
"He is being treated by the royal physicians. We have to wait for more news from Sarl."
Her eyes appeared damp. Neither of us wanted to lose our only living parent. Father had crowned me as his heir before he left for Sarl, but I was not ready to rule Mala. What do we do now? I choked. Hearing my panic, Mira dragged me to a seat and plopped down next to me.
"Jay, call a small council meeting. Ask their advice on what to do. Listen carefully to what they say. And then come and find me, and we can decide."
I rubbed my forehead, voicing my concern. Chief Kasu Vindia treats me like a child at these meetings. He was our stepmother's father. Mira squeezed my arm.
"You are the crown prince. You cannot let him intimidate you."
I unclenched my fist and nodded. Mira picked a leaf from my hair.
"Tidy up before you go."
My lips curled up a tiny grain. It will shock Chief Kasu to see my disheveled appearance. That is not a bad thing. She punched my arm.
"He will mistake you for the stable boy and send you off on an errand. Maybe clearing the horse dung will get better sense into you."
I left in a hurry before Mira ordered me to clean the stable muck. Later that day, I gathered in the small council room with Minister Kripa, Chief Kasu Vindia, and Chief Guard Monobia. I left the chair my father typically occupied at the head of the table empty, and sat on one in the middle instead. I scanned the faces of the men around me. Kripa, an old friend of the king, had served as his minister for more than a decade. He was the voice of reason in the council. Mono, a warrior, knew everything that happened in Akash. Kasu, our treasurer, was the most powerful man in the Mala kingdom after my father. I started the meeting. Mala elders, we received grievous news from Sarl today. I am seeking your advice on what to do next. I finished out of breath.
We wait,
Said Kasu briskly, stroking his beard.
I am expecting to hear from my brother De Van soon.
Added Munno. General De Van Bia led our southern unit, and more than 10,000 men served under him. Do we? I muttered, and all eyes observed me, and I withered under their glance. I had many questions I wanted to ask. Do we mobilize our other troops? What preparations do we need to make if the king requests reinforcements? But my words got caught in my throat, and my palms sweated. I imagined the 3 grown men in the room mocking my inability. Anxiety grabbed my chest, and I wanted to bolt from the room or hide under the table. As I studied my nails absently, conversation flowed around me. Mira would know the right questions to ask. She would make a better king than I. Unfortunately for Mala and me, they don't crown women in Magadha.
My lord.
Someone called my name, and I woke up from haze, and my eyes darted around the room. Minister Kripa said kindly,
My lord, with your leave, I will send a message to Chief Boj Thari to apprise him of the latest happenings.
I muttered incoherently and heaved myself up. They rose as well out of respect for my title, and I darted out. Shame flooded my body. I stormed to my room, and I saw Kapil and Vasu waiting inside my chambers. They laughed together, and rage surged through my veins. Were they laughing about me behind my back? Kapil Bia, son of Chief Guard Munno Bia, and Vasu, son of Minister Kripa, likely heard from their fathers about my bumbling manners. I fled the palace, not wanting to face anyone.